Episode 7 Hello Kopi podcast featuring Adam Zainal, the filmmaker. There's gonna be some changes from this week's episode onwards. It's gonna be the first feature-length podcast on hellokopicamilo.com and also youtube.com/Milo Fico. Check the visuals out. Something different and a little bit more lengthy and detailed of a conversation that I had with Adam Zainal. From now on, it's going to be less music and less interruptions and more conversations with very inspiring souls. Alright, guys, and let's cut the outro. Let's hang it with a bang, alright? Shall we? Enjoy episode 7, guys. Let me know your feedback. And yes, follow us on Instagram at hellokopicamilo and perhaps subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to. Only if you want to. Thank you so much for the support. Alright, hope you learn something from this episode. Take care, guys. Enjoy the podcast. Milo Fico.
Yo. Let's do this, man. Should we try cakap ke?
Yo, hi.
Nice.
Hello, Kopi ke Milo?
Okay, today we have Adam Zainal, man. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, who is Adam Zainal today and how young is he, man?
He's like 22.
22. Where do you grow up, bro? And yeah, how was your life before all this fame?
Wow. Well, I grew up here in PJ.
Okay.
In this house actually. So this is my grandparents' place. How was my life? Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at first I didn't know that I was gonna do this. I mean, at first I thought I was just gonna become a cashier or at some level or whatever, but
Yeah.
I guess rezeki, people say it. I got to make films and all that. So yeah.
Cool. So, have you always been this creative, man? Like, as a child, have you always been like this, colorful? You know. Because
Well-
for me, the best way to describe you, bro, is like colorful, man. You're full of color, so
Okay.
yeah.
Ironically, okay, but okay. Well, I would say I love doing arts, even though when I was like 4 years old.
Okay.
I just love to like draw and everything. I like to imagine stuff and just draw them. Like even my grandmother, she even let me draw on her like walls and everything. And I feel like when I was like a child, right, I cannot not draw. I must draw. I must do arts. I must do craft and everything. So as I grew up, I feel like I feel like I should do something with my life that has something to do with like art, you know. So at first, I mean, it's just a hobby. I don't want to like turn it into like a career or whatever. So then suddenly it was like when I was, I was 16. I watched this one movie. I forgot what was it, but then I was like, this movie is so well made. So I was like, maybe I want to make films, you know. So then I told my parents I want to go for filmmaking course, you know, film school.
This was at 16 years old, huh?
When I was 16,
Cool.
yeah. So my parents, they're very supportive. So they were like, okay, try to find any film school or whatever. So that's what I did. At first, I did not know MMU offered a film course. So at first the closest thing that I could get was, I didn't do my research enough, but the closest thing that I got was mass communication in Taylor's. So that was like my goal. I wanted to go for Taylor's, okay? Then suddenly, it was in the newspaper. My uncle saw it and then he was like, oh, MMU is having a film course. And just so you know, you wanted to go to University of Southern California, right? And I was like, yeah. This university, they collaborated with University of Southern California, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Where is it? And then it's like, oh, it's in Johor. So I was like, oh, okay, then, okay, I'll go for MMU then. And then my uncle also told me that there's gonna be a scholarship and everything. At first, I thought, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get a scholarship because my SPM result, I got all alphabets.
Oh yeah.
From A to G. The only
that's what I meant by colorful, man.
I got legit from A to G. So then at first I didn't apply. Then suddenly one day I was helping out my dad at a pasar. Suddenly I got a phone call. I don't even know who. So this guy, he works for Rizofora Ventures, and then he was like, we are offering you a scholarship, but I mean, like, not offering a scholarship, but it's more like, would you like to apply?
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, okay, since you approached me, I mean, like, at first I thought I didn't have a chance, but suddenly someone approached me. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? Then I asked this person, like, what do I do? Because I've never applied for such things, right? I mean, when I wanted to apply for MMU, I was so insecure because, okay, I'm scared that I don't have enough credit to enter college or whatever because, my result was pretty ugly. So then when I applied, the moment I got accepted, I was like, oh, okay, thank God, I can go to college. I mean, I can go to MMU, the college I wanted to go. So then for the scholarship, I didn't know what to do. So I asked the person, what should I do? And then he was like, okay, you need to produce a video for us, and then you need to also, I think we have to do an essay or something. I'm not so sure. That was like 4 years ago. No, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
2013, 12.
Okay, 14.
14.
4 years ago. So then I was like, okay, I have to produce a video. When's the deadline? And then the guy was like, tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, are you serious? Okay. So I told my dad. And then my dad was like, oh, okay, go home now and do that video so that you can go for the, so you can submit cepat-cepat. So okay lah, I balik rumah. At first, it was that time I was into making stop motion videos. I just like to make cutouts and just use vines and buat stop motion and everything, right? So at first I didn't know what to do. So I asked my mom, what should I do? And then she was like, oh, you traveled recently. Why don't you make a video about that? So I traveled in Oman. So
this was after SPM, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
2 months I traveled. So I made a video out of that. It was just a simple video. So I make cutouts of me walking around Oman, like a Grand Canyon and everything. I mean, not Grand Canyon, but there are canyons, there are mountains and everything. So it's just like that. It was just pretty simple. So then I submitted that. I did not sleep all night. My hands are like full of blisters from cutting and everything. So okay, finish, edited everything, submit, then finally I fell asleep. So it took about I think it was like 4 days for them to tell me that I am shortlisted for an interview. So then finally I got into an interview. Okay. Lukman. I don't know why he's here. Sekejap. Pause ke apa ni?
I was just going to, no, not pausing, just proceed.
Okay. What the hell? What is that? Oh. Hey, Milo. What's up, bro? Podcast. Okay. So as I was saying, finally it's my turn. So when I entered, right, I was shaking like crazy. Then suddenly, the guy was like, "Welcome." He is so nice. I mean, he looks nice. So I was like, okay, so far so good. And then the moment I step in, I have like my portfolio and everything on my arms, right? I was so nervous that it all fell down, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then they're all like laughing and everything. They were like, chill, it's okay. You don't have to be scared. This is just an interview. It's not like we're gonna interrogate you. We're not the FBI unless you did something wrong. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So I was like, okay, suddenly the feeling of being scared and nervous are like suddenly it's gone because suddenly I felt welcome. So okay lah. Then asked me this one question. Why do you wanna be a filmmaker? And then I was like, because I want my stories to be told, and also to be honest, I mean, sometimes I don't know how to say this in a proper words, but I'm just gonna say it. I don't really like how Malaysia in general produce films, you know, because let's face it, they suck, and especially when it comes to comedy, it's not funny. You know, it's all slapstick. I mean, it's so awkward, you know. So I legit told them I wanna change how people view Malaysian comedy, but before this, I actually wanted to become a cinematographer. I mean, I don't know.
Before this, you mean that moment you get the scholarship, your vision was you want to be the cinematographer?
I mean, not the moment I got the scholarship. It's like when I first got into filmmaking, you know. I actually wanted to become a cinematographer because all the movies that I watch, I always focus on the cinematography.
I see.
So,
Aesthetically, because even before you get yourself into filmmaking, I saw that because I was already following you from back then, 2012, 2013, you already gained attention from the followers because from your photos, right? Aesthetically, with the like landscape architecture, while you're traveling in Oman or something like that, right?
I mean,
so basically the whole aesthetics behind Adam Zainal, right? It's very important to you how it looks. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about colors and everything. I really love colors, so I just like maybe like I never seen any film that is like so colorful until Grand Budapest Hotel came out. So okay lah. So I'm like, I think that is only reference that I can get to tell people, okay, I want it to be like this. You know, so so as I was saying, I wanted to become a cinematographer. So I always I know the theory of it, but then again, I just need practice. Then when I was in my degree, which is like finally I'm in film school.
This was year one?
This is first year.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. I never wanted to become a director. Never, ever. I never wanted to be a director because I never see myself as a leader or as someone who boss people around. I mean, being a director is not about boss people around anyway. People always get that wrong message. Okay, to be a director, you need to be bossy. I mean, no, you need to be a leader. Okay.
Also, I think, would you agree with this statement, like being a director, that you have to know what you want?
Yes.
To begin with.
Yes, because one of my project, I have to be honest, it was like sort of the first time when I directed. I sort of, it's not that I don't know what I wanted. It's just that, how do I say it? Suddenly I got confused about what I want.
Okay.
Because of that, everyone is like waiting for my command and for my order and everything. And then I was like, oh no, what should I do? So then, but then again, that time we were really under crew, you know.
I see.
So
you had to pour in your energy as well. With
yeah.
Physical.
Oh my god, it was so tiring. So yeah, every director. I mean, for me, a good director needs to know like what they need to know. So it's really important because that's how. Because everything, it's like all in your mind. Your vision, everything is in your mind. So you need to know how to translate everything. Tell your cinematographer what do you want. Tell your production designer what do you want and everything. So it all started when I wanted to become a director. Is when for this one project, it was in the first year. Again, I repeat, I never wanted to become a director. So suddenly there's this one project. It was a music video assignment. My lecturer assigned me to become the cinematographer. Like finally, I was like yes. So I don't know, for some reason when I mean not when I started holding a camera, but when I got assigned to be the role of cinematographer, it just didn't
click.
It just didn't click, you know.
So you lost interest after the first experience.
I mean, I wouldn't say I lost interest. It's just that tak masuk jiwa. I don't know how to say it in English, but tak masuk jiwa, you know.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, whatever lah. So
it's not who you are, right?
Yeah, in a way.
So
is it?
you got to know yourself, that you hold the camera and then this is not really me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing lah.
So I was like, okay. I mean, there are a lot of buttons and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kidding. So but I macam okay lah. So macam okay. Memang tak masuk jiwa. I don't think I can become a cinematographer, but it's okay lah. Assignment je lah kot. I mean, I hated myself for saying that. I mean, I never like to treat my assignment like an assignment, you know. So macam okay lah. just buat je lah, just get this over with. But then suddenly my actual director, he is actually struggling on directing, so I have to help him out because he doesn't know how to communicate. So in a way, I have to say that's like the first time I direct in a way, because I was just helping out. I was just telling him what he wants to the pelakon and everything, to the actress and the actors, right? So okay lah, finally, then I was like, that was fun. So suddenly I was just kept on thinking, maybe I should try directing, you know? So that came across to my, there's this one idea that I had when I was in high school. I like to make, I want to make something that unite people, you know? Like there are different point of view of a film. That's how my first short film, Bebel, happened. I wrote that, I mean like I have the idea for so long. Then suddenly I wrote the script. It was for an assignment actually.
Okay.
That one. It was quite impromptu. It was for I think it was hubungan ethnic assignment. Our topic is food. We have to make a 10-minute video. It's just a simple concept and everything. And then they're all like, okay, it's interesting. Plus it's hubungan ethnic, right? There are different kind of race, and also we're doing about food. I wrote the script that night. The next day we start shoot already. That production up until now was like the fun production ever, because it was so impromptu. It was like so sudden, and then macam it was so fun that the moment we wrap, balik rumah I edit terus. It was fun. I miss that feeling so much.
Is it because like you don't have any expectations on it? Because you're just I'm just gonna do this regardless what the result is.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I have my visions already. I have like macam, okay, this is how I want it to be. I want it to look like this, blah blah blah. I mean, even though it's not as how I imagine. I mean, let's face it, every time a director imagines something, it's not 100%, right? So okay lah. When it came out, I'm just quite satisfied with it because we had fun doing it. When I posted on YouTube, suddenly it got like 1K views. That was like the most viewed that I got back then. So I was like, wow, people actually enjoyed it. And then people are actually sharing on Twitter. Like my followers are all like, oh, I watched Bebel, it's so nice. I really like it. The ending, wow. Okay, that was nice. So maybe I should try again lah. But do directing some more lah kan. So okay lah, that's how I kind of like started directing. This is like an advice from my own lecturer. When you write something, make sure it is shootable.
So like up to this point, what would be your favorite role in terms of whether you like to write more or you like directing more? Or it's a different thing that you can't compare. It's like an apple to an orange.
Yeah, I don't think I can compare.
You like both lah?
Yeah, I like both. Unless you.
Would it be a burden to write and direct at the same time? Or you always need a co-writer?
Honestly, it's a 50-50, I would say, because my project Ngelamun, I wrote it and I directed. I mean, when I wrote it,
Ngelamun, okay.
I didn't like, I mean, I just write. I didn't even think about anything. I just write. That was like the first time I actually did something that is super close to me. Like, in fact, that's the first time I actually write for my own directing, you know? So, I mean, not the first time. I mean, like, it's like I went, how do I say it? I tried to make it more me, you know? I want to have like a trademark for my directing. So, without thinking anything, I just write. What does this character gonna say and everything? I mean, obviously, we know what's the story about. I mean, we all as a team, we already discussed, okay, the story's gonna be like this. So, I was like, okay, sure. Let me write the script. So when I write, I didn't even think about like how is this person gonna speak or whatever. I just like, okay, this dialogue's gonna say like this, blah blah blah. I just type, blah blah blah. Then okay, then it's done. The reason why I sort of like want to dive more into me, I want to discover myself, because there's this one class, my lecturer mentioned this. Always apply your personal touch or your personal experience in your script, because that way it can make your filmmaking life more better. It can be more fun, it can be more emotional, it can have more heart. I did pour out everything like that I can say about me. I'm pretty talkative, so I want to have a very talkative character. I'm quite serabut in a way.
Okay.
I want to have a serabut character. So that's how Ngelamun happened.
Oh, so for those who don't know, Ngelamun is actually an interactive short film, and it has been well received all over the internet,
Yeah.
YouTube, and what is the view count now? 25,000?
35.
35,000 on YouTube and still ongoing. Right. So, what was the writing process like? You have all these characters in mind, and then you wrote it, or
Yeah.
you actually had an idea and then you developed the character as the draft goes on.
Okay, for this assignment, right? It was the assignment was new way of telling a story, okay, rather than just a normal short film.
Right.
So there's like installation, there's web series, there's interactive, and there's like performance. Anything that you can come up with, as long it's not like a normal short film. Yeah. And the casting was pretty tough because the character, it's very.
Oh, so you don't have the characters in mind yet?
I mean, I do have it. When I wrote it, I
Your-
wanted my best friend to act
Your
in
best
it.
friend,
Adriana.
Adriana, the main character.
The main
right?
character.
Okay.
So I wanted her to play it. So when I wrote the script, I imagined how she speaks. I imagined how she talks and everything. So I did write based on how she speaks and everything. Then when I approached her, do you want to act? And then she was like, not really. So I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
Okay.
So we just open casting lah. So all of the characters, I mean like all the casting, they didn't like reach up to my expectation or like how I want them to be and everything. So I was like, so I just keep on like forcing my friend, please be in it.
I
I'm
see.
begging you. So and then she finally agreed. So I was like, thank God. Okay,
Okay,
so
speaking of casting process, like how is your casting process like? Do you usually you open cast and then you see what they have, what experience they have, or you always give a first time actor a chance or non-actors?
I mean, because we're all like just students, right? I don't think we can afford actors.
Oh.
I mean, like some people can actually afford them or whatever, but for me, I just want to look for someone who can play the character. I don't care whether they are professional actors or not professional actors, whether they're first time or not. As long if they can pull out of the character, it's fine for me. So that was like the first time my best friend acted, and then she did a really good job because obviously the script is about her. So yeah, then in a way, back to your question, for casting process, after I did my casting call, I did put the criteria specifically, but then again, specific can have a different approach, you know? Like, I want the character to be charismatic.
So it's still open. It's not that tied down to.
I mean,
it can be any way. You can be charismatic in the sense where you're outgoing, or you always have that specific personality trait in mind, or
yeah, I do. I want I mean, even though I want it to be charismatic, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like for Ngelamun lah, especially, I just want this character. This is before my friend agreed to play the part. I really want someone, I mean, at least like a clone of her, you know, because she's like so perfect for the role.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone else can play the role. So then when all other girls, I mean, it was quite shocking when I received over 100 audition emails, you know. So I was like,
this was at the phase where you already blew up on Twitter, right?
you're
would you say you're more Twitter famous or Insta famous?
stop saying that. Okay. I would say Twitter. I don't know, because it's pretty easy to spread things there, you know. Because when I had my casting call and everything, I just spread it on Twitter, and I have like my friends and their followers and everything to help me retweet and help me find people for who I need. Send me your video of you introducing yourself, your name, age, where do you study and everything, and talk about yourself. Okay, be yourself. Because for me, when I took Yasmin Ahmad's words seriously when it comes to casting. She mentioned that she always look at people's charisma. So that's how I want it to be. I want people to be charismatic so that it's more natural when it comes to acting. So most of them replied and everything. They got the charisma, but like just like I said, they couldn't play the role. So yeah.
Okay. So how was the shooting process like for Ngelamun? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I actually you already told me, but I want the audience to know like how much effort was poured into getting that.
Oh my god,
interactive films.
Okay,
Done.
it was. Spoiler alert, after we done shooting, I gave up. I did not want to be a director anymore.
Serious.
It was so tiring because I did not have an assistant director. I didn't have a script supervisor and everything. And also there were times that I was like, I think I let my team down because I got confused which scene that we're supposed to do. I got confused because it was an interactive, right? So sometimes there are times that I actually fell asleep on set. Me as a director, I fell asleep on set. That was pretty embarrassing, and it was pretty disappointing as well for my crew and everything.
This was in Ngelamun.
It was in Ngelamun. So yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. But I just want to tell this to the world and everything because that was who I am, you know. I mean, like, as ashamed as I was, but then again, that was in the past.
So that was the growth process for you. Right now, you would say you can stay awake the whole time, right? Because
I mean, yeah, I can lah. I mean, I have to anyway.
Most of the time, you only have like 3 hours of sleep before that, and or sometimes no. Have you ever been on set without sleep? No, right?
Oh my god, no, cannot. I have to sleep. I mean, like, when I know there's gonna be a shoot, I have to at least have 5 hours of sleep.
Okay.
Because if not, I will crash. I cannot.
I see.
So yeah. Long story short, Ngelamun, the production was pretty shaky. But I'm just glad the end product was pretty good.
Is it Topo Mopo Pictures?
Topo Morto.
Topo Morto Pictures. That would be your sort of your little company.
I mean, no, it's not. It's just our, it's just our group. It's just a teammate kind of like thing, because when we have like assignments, we always end up in a group, right? So that's just our group name.
Okay. Ngelamun has been well received, and also you've helped many of the talents gain their own career. Yeah. What do you think? What is your perspective on that?
Okay. At first, one of the character, the side character, played by Yuna, Yuna Rahim. Before I wrote the script, I already promised her, because she got rejected from this one acting. She's like my my best friend's sister, okay? So I was at that place, and then she was like, I was there at the right time, you know? She was like, she was like crying and everything because she got rejected from playing a role. So I was like, okay, I can see you really into acting. I promise you, for my next project, you will be in it. So I already got my image of her in the script already. So okay lah. Before we came up with the idea, she's already in the project. So then when she played the character and everything, right, everyone was actually, wow, she is really good. Then suddenly she got jobs already. She got into ads, she got into like movies and everything. She even got nominated for BMW Shorties, you know? So it was like, wow, I did that. I did that for her. I opened a lot of doors for her. I'm quite proud of that lah, because if it wasn't for the project, if it wasn't for that time that I went to her house just to meet my friend, I wouldn't see her crying and everything. All this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's all like a process, and it's all I guess she's good to begin with. You just expose her to the right people. Right, and also Ngelamun got like a lot of attention. So in a way, people focuses on the talent as well.
Yes,
they can showcase whatever they have, right? Okay. So what made you decide to put it on YouTube?
I mean, because it's a different way of telling a story. Since we came up with interactive, one way to go is put it on YouTube. Also, when we pitched it, this is how my lecturer, this is how the system works. Like, not the system, I mean, like, this is how the syllabus works. It's like, my lecturer will ask a series of questions, not for us to answer straight away, but for us to think. Who will be your audience? And what's the character's motive and everything and all that, you know? Why is the production design like this? As you can see, Ngelamun is quite colorful, right? And it's very yellow. So all those questions that he asked, why is the production design like this and everything? So it's just a question for us to think, why do we approach that way? So I approach for
speaking of yellow, why yellow though?
I mean, yellow is a color of what was it? It was like a
Energy.
color of happy,
Happy.
you know? Macam like if
Speaking
you
of yellow, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I like yellow.
Mm.
That's like one of my favorite color, but I don't think I can wear yellow.
Mm.
But anyways, yeah, I wanted the film to look colorful. Anyways, originally I wanted to be pink so that the film represent feminine, you know, like it's about a girl, you know.
Yeah.
But then we discussed. My production designer Shemat, he was like, maybe we should go for yellow because
Okay.
your story is very bright, it's very cheerful and everything. I think yellow can really enhance the story. So he did. At first, I was like a bit skeptical about it, and then then again, when I think about it, he's right. So I should just go for yellow. So he did. He bought like yellow paint. We literally reconstruct the whole classroom. Originally the classroom is not like that. It's quite ugly. We beautify the classroom. So then all of those questions, like you said, why we upload it on YouTube. I would actually say, who is your audience? So I did think about it. I was like, okay, I want to do something that is relatable for people my age, which is millennials, you know. But then again, the whole story, it didn't just made for me. It made for people who's already in college or even graduated college already and everything, because they already went through high school. Everyone went through high school. Everyone went through having crushes in high school and everything. Suddenly the whole story, suddenly Ngelamun is like relatable for everyone, and it's attractive for everyone because of the colors and everything. So yeah.
Okay. What advice do you have though for people who aspire to be a filmmaker or director, or I don't know, just create their own film?
Okay.
Yeah.
My advice is the real world is not pretty,
Right.
to be honest. Which is why I feel like we need to change it. We need to the people are quite violent. They're very harsh. So I feel like we need to change that. So if you are passionate into filmmaking, go for it. Help us. We can be part of it together and then change the industry together, you know. If you have any ideas I want to make a short film or whatever like that, kan, write it, shoot it, terus. Don't wait, because
Okay.
ideas can die out. It's like going through phases, you know. So might as well just shoot terus. you know?
Does it need to be perfect?
I mean-
Aesthetically, do you need the right crew? Do you need to pitch it to people, or you can just guerrilla? You know, you can
It-
just do it yourself.
It all depends, you know,
Okay.
because it is also part of learning process, practice process as well. I do that some of the time. Sometimes there are some videos that I made but I didn't upload it. It's just for myself. I don't want to show it to anyone anyway. So
It's like your practice.
yeah, it's like a practice. So yeah.
Okay.
I would honestly say, if you have any idea or whatever, no matter how short it is, no matter how stupid it is, go for it, because you never know that it can turn out to be a masterpiece, you know? You
Okay.
never know.
Okay. So what's your mission in life? Where do you see yourself in 10 years to come?
I want to make people laugh, you know? My
So,
my
comedy.
mom, my mom asked me this once.
Okay.
It was like for my FYP. I didn't know what to pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what story to pitch. So I asked my mom, what should I pitch? And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna ask you this question. And then she said that, give yourself 24 hours, digest that question, okay? And I was like, okay, go for it. What do you want to do? And I was like, what kind of a question is that? I already I asked you what should I do, and then you asked me what do I want to do, and then she said digest it, literally think about it. So okay lah, I just think about it. What do I want to do? It could be in general tau, but then again, it all tiba-tiba datang balik. I want to make people laugh, so comedy. I want to make a comedy for my final year project. I think I'm already stuck with making a comedy. Even
That's your genre. That's your
yeah.
what makes you tick.
I
yes.
mean, to be honest, I'm not into comedy genre when it comes to watching
Oh,
films.
okay.
I'm more into drama. I like watching drama films.
Mm-hmm.
I just tak minat tengok comedy, but then again, I like making comedy. I don't know if that is weird or not lah, but yeah. So I just told my mom, I want to make people laugh or smile at least. So, and then my mom was like, there you go, you should make a comedy. It's as simple as that. And I was like, okay, a comedy, but what story should I pitch? And then everything, and then that's how like my recent short film Kantoi happened. It's about like a high school girl who got a dilemma whether or not to tell her best friend that the pregnancy test is actually hers. So it's a teen pregnancy short film, you know.
Where do you look for inspiration? Like Adam Zainal has to come from somewhere, right? Right.
What do you mean by that?
When you're like, because we are all, I mean, as creatives, we from time to time we get dry. You know, we ran out of juice, creative juice. And who do you look up to for inspiration? Like,
now that's a question.
it could be your close ones, it could be your friends, it could be a specific
I think it's
mentor from afar.
it's it's the people around me. Honestly, it's like I like looking at. I mean, like I like to observe how people talk to each other and everything. Sometimes I just can't imagine if I turn that into a short film. I wonder what kind of scene that could be, and everything. Then yeah, it's stuff like that. For example, like in my recent short film Kantoi, there's a lot of like inside joke that I think Malaysians can really understand. For example, there's like a makcik bawang punya character and everything. So macam it's all about how, because for me I want to make films I want to make films for the audience, not for myself, you know. So in a way, I'm trying to make it as relatable as possible for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of Kantoi, how do you relate from your experience from Ngelamun in transition to Kantoi?
I have to say, I've grown.
Okay.
I went through a lot of experience already. I learned a lot. I can see how actual directors work and everything. I observe them. I have to went through hell just to like. I mean, I was in a director's department anyway, so I don't know whether you actually have to go through that or they're just trying to like treat me like an intern, you know. So whatever lah. I mean, in the end, it taught me a lot, you know. It really did taught me a lot. I feel like it should it really does reflect back on how I handle the production of Kantoi, you know. To be honest, I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but I feel like that's like the most professional directing role that I ever had, and it's for a final year project because I already went through a lot of projects already.
So it's a simple process. You sort of applied your experience, and it's easier than what you usually go through.
Yes.
Okay.
And also because I have a big crew,
right?
So it's easier, you know.
Okay. Yeah, this is where I flip the script, bro. This is where I give you the chance to ask me one or two questions, anything that comes out of your mind. That could be about anything and that you wanna ask me. Just one or two questions. Go for it.
What is your first impression of me? I mean, like, I don't know what to ask you, but I mean, you told me that you've been following me since 2013, right? I mean, I only followed you recently, right? Because you...
No, it was, I followed you then, and then we followed each other. I remember this, but then I deactivated my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, yeah, that's how, and then I followed you back recently. I know, whenever we contacted, yeah, that was when I followed you.
Okay.
And then we follow each other. Your first impression, it's different from real life though. What you see in photos, it's totally opposite though.
What do you mean?
You're such a you're very unique in real life. You have that soft touch. If I would, I mean, I don't mean to sound. I mean, I'm trying to get straight to the point metaphorically. If in terms of cloth, you are silk.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have your own unique. You are one of a kind, man. I would say that.
Thank you.
It's like a 1 in a million. I would say but then you cannot tell from a photo. When looking at you from a photo, you look very very harsh. You know, as in like you're very masculine.
Oh wow. Okay.
From a photo, from a first, what was the word again? From a first,
Impression.
first impression, right? And then when I met you the first time, I was like, oh shit, it's different. So, okay, yeah.
Okay.
But in terms of first impression with your work, the first time I see you in set, I was really impressed. Like, you are an extrovert to begin with, and I thought you were introvert based on your feed, you know. And then in on set, you have a different persona. You're very professional. You were like, okay, take one and action. Okay, do that again. Are you happy with that? Oh, yeah, like
So you're saying I'm fake on social media?
it's not like you're fake, but I mean your image, your image and your real character is different.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that. What makes you enjoy watching my films though?
First of all, it's relatable, and I'm sure you do that intentionally, right? Like you mentioned. And secondly, it's because it makes, I don't know if you did you mention this now, but it's totally in sync. It gives me a good time. You know, it's not dark. It's like when you're feeling a bit down, which is easy in this life, right? So you just go to your short film and your projects. It's really uplifting in a way.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
uplifting creatively as well, because myself, I'm a creative person, and I like to see like, how did Adam do this? You know, how did he? Why did he do this? Or maybe it's not because he wants to do it, he has no other way, or why did he choose his colors? I'm not just, I can, because as you know, I'm doing a little bit of acting here and there, but I also like to understand how the whole process goes. So from you, I can learn a lot from you.
Okay.
Not just that, but also your choices of talent, right? I can learn from them as well.
Okay.
But first of all, yeah, to conclude, your films make me happy. It gives that uplifting, your colors, your very colorful theme that you always choose to hold on to.
Okay.
And then secondly, the talents. I like to learn like, why do they do this? Mesti like, oh, did Adam tell them to do this? You know? And yeah, there's a lot to learn from every single detail, man.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
for
you're
telling me
welcome.
that.
No problem. Do you have any people that you look forward to working with? It can be actors, actresses.
Oh my god, banyak. And it will be Sharifah Mani, hands down. Memang Sharifah Mani. I want to work with her. I want to like direct her. Reza Minat, and also
Reza Mihat falls under the writer side or the
acting
side. Okay.
And also I would say it's either Amirul Afendi or Adi Bahno.
Wow.
Yeah. I really want them. I mean, if can, I just want all four of them in my film one day.
Okay.
So yeah,
Inshallah.
that will be a dream come true. For me, I always respect to those who can cepat solve the problem on set. Okay, I can really respect a person when they can do that.
So filmmaking is a lot of problem solving.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Interesting.
I have a favorite director, but it's a very different genre. Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. He directed Birdman. He directed The Revenant and everything. I mean, I really love his works because it's very drama based. As I mentioned before, I'm not into comedy. I really like to watch drama based films, right? He's like my number one favorite director ever.
Okay.
I studied his films and everything, but just that I don't think I can do a film like that. I always look up to something that I cannot do, you know?
Okay.
When it comes to filmmaking, of course. Like this cinematographer Lubeski and everything. I was like, okay, his shots are so beautiful, but I don't think I can do that. I'm so sad. So yeah.
Okay. What is the greatest piece of advice you have ever received so far in 22 years?
The what?
Greatest piece of advice you've ever received. It could be from anyone. Do you remember, like, top of your head?
Okay. Like I mentioned before, it was like in, I don't know, I received a lot of
Advice.
Okay. But there's this one, I feel like it's quite underrated. I didn't think about it that much. But this person, she's a friend of mine. Her name is Shanky. It was like after Ngelamun, I did approach her. I asked her, where can I intern somewhere that is like do production designing and everything. And then she was like, what? I thought you want to do directing. And then it was that time I actually gave up already. I don't want to do directing anymore because it was so tiring, right? So I was like, I don't want to do it anymore because honestly, let's face it, I don't think Malaysian industry wants to hire directors anyway. I think I was wrong back then, but it was how I view it, you know. So okay lah. And then she was like, no, don't think that. You just direct je lah. I mean, like, you'll never know. I mean, you have the potential already, so you should actually go for it. I mean, people can see you as a director already. So why you want to be an art director? I mean, you can, but why? Just because you takut tak dapat job, is it? And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense lah. But yeah, I think that one advice is pretty underrated. So thank you, Shanky.
Yeah. So stick true to whatever you wanna be. Don't just
I mean,
go.
You can try.
Okay.
You can try do other things, but don't give up on things. You know. I mean, if it didn't work out, then for me lah, if it didn't work out, you can always try again. But is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it if you want to like keep on doing and everything over and over again? I mean, what are you trying to prove? You know.
Okay.
So, I mean, like for me, I actually almost gave up on directing. I almost gave up on filmmaking. I actually went through a time where, do I really want to do this and everything? But those are just dark times. It was just a phase. It passed. So yeah.
Okay. What is Adam Zainal's deepest fear?
Deepest fear.
Yeah.
Bad reputation, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do I explain it? Because it's a tough industry, you know. I need to like have a good reputation for people to know me. I'm not just saying people for, I mean, what I mean was like in the industry, you know. I want them to know me so I can like have my stories told and I can have a job and everything, because because this is how I learn, this is how I see it. Sometimes when you want to get a job and everything, and it's because of connections. So I don't have that much connections with the industry and
The PR.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to start quick lah, especially with the producer and everything.
I'm sure you'll get there, man. You're already out there.
Thank you.
You don't really know that. You feel like you're not out there, you don't have connections, but people already see, oh shit, he's graduating, oh my god, he's coming. You know, I'm sure those people have like a sort of like a fear inside of them, like, oh no, like competitor is coming, taking over the industry, man.
I mean, I'm not that perfect. Everyone had the flaws there.
You don't need to be perfect to be a legend.
Oh wow.
What are you most grateful for today? Like up to today.
Okay. I have a very supportive friends and lecturers. They didn't let me down. I mean, like, they didn't like, what's that word? They didn't demotivate me on what I wanted to do, especially for my family, because I never thought I was gonna be a director. I never thought of that. Then look at me now. So yeah, my friends, they are very supportive. My lecturers, especially my parents. So yeah, I'm
so all around people around you lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really grateful of that.
Cool. Okay. So back to the philosophical stuff. What piece of advice to conclude this whole podcast? What piece of advice do you have for the, let's say, future generation or whoever it is? It can be someone who's older than you, who is lost in life. They're all over the place. They don't know what to do. Okay. They don't know what to do. They don't know their purpose in life. And what would you suggest? I'm not saying that you are perfect, but I'm sure you have an input on this. What do you suggest that, how do they get started with whatever it is? They don't know what they like. They don't know where to go. And they feel they don't have their family around them. What is Adam Zainal's perspective and take on this?
Whenever like I have like people telling me that they don't know what to do, I always tell them, do what you want to. I mean, like, do what you like, you know, because you can always turn your hobby into a career. You can always turn something that you like into a career or into an education or whatever, you know, because why would you go for a career that you don't even like? you know. For example, my mother, she's a straight A student. She's very smart. She got number 3 in Malaysia back in her age, you know. She could have been a doctor. She was a doctor for a year. Then it really tak masuk. So she became a lecturer instead because she wanted to teach. So I feel like that's quite inspiring as well. I mean, always go for something that you wanted to do and turn it into a career. Look at my mother, she's a lecturer now because she loves teaching. So yeah.
What if it's too far? It's like they feel discouraged, they have that fear of, okay, they wanna start their own clothing company, but then oh my god, the anxiety behind it, the commitment behind it, the financial behind it, they don't know anything. Of course they can start doing that, but what's step 1, you know, before all of that?
Okay, I'm not sure if this is applicable to everyone, but I feel like you should talk to the right people about it. For example, like you say, if you're doing a fashion line or whatever, right? Maybe try to ask someone who already has a small business. So maybe you can ask them like how did they start and everything. I feel like that could answer the question, I guess. I don't know if it can apply, but I think it can.
Yeah, definitely. So to conclude, like, talk to someone and try to find out the best way to understand whatever it is that you like.
Yes.
And then go from there.
I mean, it's a start lah. That's also where you can discover yourself. But my lecturer did this once. He calls it a self-discovery essay. You know, we have to like. I really forgot how it was, but I sort of discovered myself on what I wanted to do when it comes to filmmaking. So like, just write, you know, or express it in any other way. Like, who are you? What are you? What do you want to be? What do you want to do?
Self-awareness,
Yeah, it's like a self-awareness. It's a question that people, I mean, like, when you are asked about this kind of questions, right, you can just like, you don't have to answer straight away, but it can be like a question that you really think about yourself. For example, when people ask me, what do you want to be? I mean, if you don't have a straight answer, it can be like a question that you can hold on to for you to be somebody. So yeah. I'm so bad at giving advice, to be honest.
But you have something in you, man. For me, my perspective is 5 years to come, you'll build a career, man. You will take over the industry in a good way, and hopefully to see you out there, man. Okay, and I'm really looking forward to work with you, bro. It's just a matter of time. I know I'm trusting the process. I'm not trying to rush or I want to work with you, but I know the time will come, and when it clicks, it clicks.
Yeah.
And looking forward to that, bro. Where can people find you on social media? Like Instagram?
My Instagram, my
Adam
Twitter.
Zainal with 2 A's?
Yeah, Zainal.
ADAMZAI
NAAL.
NAAL.
Yeah.
Both Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, though, Adam.
Thank you so
much for being part of.
Hello, Kopi Milo podcast.
Alright, man. Thank you.
It's
See
quite
you.
catchy. I like it. It's
Thanks,
catchy.
dude. Thank you so much, bro. Sweat.
Spider-Man lah.
Yeah.
Semua. Sini. Cini.
Swag.
Okay, nice.
Who do you suggest to be part of this podcast? Kau rasa? Who else do you suggest to be part of this podcast?
Nia Sabrina. I think Alicia Amin, I can try ask her.
Alicia Amin.
Yeah.
Yo, that would be great though. She has a lot of good perspectives. I like her. Yeah. That would be awesome, bro.
I mean, I can talk to you about her when this is off.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Adam Zainal.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Alright.
Okay. Now, do you have a cable with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let's try and like, yeah.
Hello, Kopi Milo podcast. Milo Fico signing out.